Okay, I was genuinely super excited. It was like I almost couldn't wait to sit down and record this video to share because, again, of what I am learning through my own experience, my own life, lived experience with the nervous system. And this one has to do specifically with apathy. Uh, Apathy can happen. These personality cells, I come from a lot of metaphysical traditions where the understanding is that there's a soul and then there's also a personality self. And that resonates with me. I very much feel I have a soul, and I'm also aware of how my personality can think at times. My mind-made self, if you will, can think at times. And so apathy can happen. Like, I'm in a human animal body that is wired in a lot of different ways. And it's also been cultured by societies and religions, and some of that stuff is still in there moving around. And so sometimes apathy can happen because the personality self is not seeing evidence of things it would like to see. It's feeling like things may be falling apart, so to say, and it can start to feel like low, low and low about different things in life and different circumstances. And that can lead to passivity and apathy. And what I have recently learned about the nervous system is that it's not about positive thinking in those moments, and it's more about movement. And again, these are my takeaways, these are my interpretations, this is what I'm learning from me, and learning as I also apply the knowledge that I recently learned about the nervous system. So there was things I heard that made sense to me, that clicked for me about the nervous system, and some recent trainings I was in. I've been applying them in my life, and now I'm getting real life experience, which is often referred to as wisdom. It's, when knowledge is applied and you get real life experience. And to me, what I'm learning, the wisdom that I'm creating for myself, is that movement is so important if apathy starts to show up. Because apathy, what I have found, can kind of suck me into like this lull and droll of like, this is it, life's not going to go on from here, nothing's ever going to change. Like, I don't see a way through, I don't see a way beyond the way things are right now. It's like this lull and droll thinking. And that is, like, to me, like apathy. It's kind of like giving up. It's kind of like nothing matters. And to me, this is what I learned in the training, is that the thinking, like positive thinking, may not really do much in those states. We're all so unique, so I'm not going to say it won't ever do anything, because we're all so unique. But what I learned in those trainings is that positive thinking actually may not do that much in that state, when the nervous system is in that state. And what was offered was movement in one of these trainings. It was movement, like get moving. And that's exactly what I did, because I found myself in some apathy late last night. Still woke up in that apathetic state this morning. And I just had that aha, and I was like, gotta get moving, because otherwise this state is just going to keep sucking me in into like the mud pit or the sand pit of like apathy. And so like I recognize, like, okay, I know what state my nervous system is in right now. It's in apathy, it's in like disillusion, it's in like lull and droll. And it was like, get up, get moving. That is going to shift me out of that state. And sure enough, that's what's happened. That's what's been happening. Now here I am recording a video that I'm excited to record, because I'm like, man, this works. What I learned works in terms of getting into, it worked for me this morning, getting into movement, like getting up, move, like do something. And so for me, it was just, starting my day, showering, making a cup of cacao, like starting to hydrate, brushing my teeth, oil pulling. And now I'm making this video because I was excited to share, like, dang, like, this is a really powerful antidote for apathy for me. So I'm just going to pass it on. Who knows? It may serve someone else. Maybe someone else will get something from what I'm learning from me. Because one of the things that was brought up in both of these trainings that I went to in the past couple weeks, both trainings kind of presented that, like, positive thinking isn't enough. And honestly, I was waiting for someone to say that, because I've been in the personal growth space for 10 years, and I've been in metaphysical circles for 10 years. And I just have to say, I was finding that, like, positive thinking, like, it doesn't always do it. Like, it just doesn't always do it. And so when I heard other people saying, like, your thoughts, aren't enough, essentially, in terms of certain states of being, like, I kind of was like, oh, I'm so glad someone else is saying this, because I was already feeling it. And, and one of the trainings, what was presented was that, like, positive thinking is very effective when you're in the right state. Like, when you're already feeling good, positive thinking can be very powerful. And when you're feeling like, when you're in fight or flight, or when you're in apathy, what was presented was, like, it's going to be more about shifting your physical state in those moments. Like, this is what was presented, was in this training, it was one of the two trainings, was that movement is going to be more powerful in these states, like the apathy state or the fight or flight state. Like, movement, getting into the body, like waking the body up, like, just movement, like getting into the body, getting out of, like, this type of, like, fast-paced thinking, and getting into the body is what I absorbed from this one training. And I've been working with it, ever since then. I've been working with it. And what happened this morning in terms of getting out of apathy was, like, just like, yes, it's like a big win, like a big win. So I'm passing it on because, hey, while I'm never telling anyone what to do, what they should do or ought to do or anything like that, I'm passing on my life experience because it's working for me. Like, I want to share what's working for me, what's making effective, positive change. It is positive change. It's just, it wasn't so much about the thinking this morning. It was about the movement. I'm not going to say that positive thinking is bad. I've just learned that there's certain, I love positive thinking. It's amazing. I love positive perspectives. They're amazing. I've just learned that there's certain states of certain states that my nervous system is in where then maybe that's just not going to be that effective. And so then it's like, well, what will be effective in those states? And for me, I'm finding it's the movement. It's getting up. It's getting into my body. I feel like that's why a lot of people say that exercise is like a form of therapy, because exercise is really, especially if you're doing, to me, I find if you're doing exercise that's out of your routine, like out of your norm, it's like then it really engages the mind in the present moment. Because like if your mind doesn't know the moves, like let's say you go to a new exercise class you've never been before, like all of a sudden, I'm willing to bet the mind will be very engaged in the present moment, and like, how do I do these dance moves, or how do I use the weights for this exercise? Like, the mind will be very much into, like, how do I do this class that I'm in right now, and not so much in all of these other things that might be stressing out or causing apathy. I mean, if you go to the gym and you do like the same workout you always do, like for me, I find that I can still be very mentally distracted because it's like my body already knows the routine. What I do find though is if I want to become really present and alive and in the moment, if I like turn on a yoga workout like on YouTube that I've never done before, and I don't know the routine, like that'll bring me very present. Like it'll get me very in my body, because all of a sudden the mind is like, oh, I want to make sure I have the right posture, and things like that. And because my mind is very focused on the present moment and very focused on my body and doing these yoga moves, all of a sudden I am now very in the present moment. And when I finish the yoga routine that I have never done before until I just did it now, I have these moments of like, oh my gosh, I'm so present right now. Like I'm so in my body, I'm so present, I'm so here, I'm not distracted. So that's been really effective for me as well, is not only doing exercise, as long as it feels right to exercise in the moment, of course. You know, I always check in with my intuition. And if it does feel right to exercise in the moment, then I've found that to be very effective, is doing exercise that's out of my comfort zone, out of my familiarity, out of my routine, and that'll bring me super present and super in my body. So I hope that you found something of value in this video. If you have, I'd love to see your feedback. Please feel free to leave a comment, or if you want to share it and pass on what I'm finding for me and share it with a friend, that's an option too. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now.